All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we're doing a deep dive into what it takes to be an ICT network architect.
Buckle up.
We've got our career guide, interview guide, even some RoleCatcher AI insights to help us out. You ready to jump in?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Awesome. So first things first, ICT Network Architects. These are the folks that design and manage the networks, the backbone of, well, pretty much everything these days.
Yeah, it's not just about keeping the internet running, though.
Right.
It's about making sure businesses can actually function, especially now with everyone moving to the cloud and all these new technologies popping up. Think Internet of Things, AI, all that.
It's a lot to keep up with, for sure,
Yeah.
which is probably why they get paid pretty well.
Yeah.
But hey, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about how to even get one of these jobs.
Right, the interview.
Exactly. So the interview guide we have has some pretty tough questions. But don't worry, we're going to break them down, give you some tips, and of course, RoleCatcher's AI can give you some extra personalized feedback to help you stand out.
It's like having a secret weapon in your back pocket.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so first question. It's a classic, and it usually goes something like, can you explain your experience with designing, implementing, and maintaining large-scale networks? What do you think?
Well, you got to think big picture here. Don't just list off technologies. Tell a story. Like walk them through a challenging project. What were the obstacles? How did you overcome them?
Oh, good point. The how.
Exactly. And don't forget to mention the impact. Did you improve performance, increase security? What were the results?
And speaking of results, that's where RoleCatcher comes in handy.
Oh, yeah.
Their AI can actually analyze the specific job description and show you what skills they're really looking for so you can make sure your answers really hit the mark.
Nice.
Okay, next question. This one's all about staying current. It usually sounds something like, how do you stay up to date with the latest networking technologies and trends?
Ooh, this one's tricky because, let's be honest, everyone says they read articles.
Right. Got to be more specific than that.
Exactly. Talk about specific publications, online forums, conferences you attend, maybe even certifications you've earned or trainings you're doing. Show them you're serious about learning and staying on top of things.
That actually reminds me of something in the career guide about different career stages. The more senior you get, the more they expect you to be a real thought leader in the field, constantly learning and pushing the boundaries.
That's the exciting part, right?
Absolutely. All right, question number 3. This one gets technical. They might ask you to describe your experience with IP routing protocols.
Ah, the meat and potatoes. So, OSPF, BGP, all those fun acronyms. But again, don't just list them off.
Right.
Talk about how you've actually used them. Like, have you designed complex routing schemes, optimized performance? Give them real examples.
And be ready for follow-up questions, too. They might throw something like, how would you approach troubleshooting a routing loop in a large network?
Stay calm, think it through. Talk about your process, how you break down a problem systematically, and how you'd use your tools to identify the root cause.
This is where those problem-solving skills really come into play, huh?
Big time.
Okay, let's take a breather for a sec. Get ready. Because next up, we're diving into the world of network security.
Ooh, can't wait.
Me neither, but first, a quick word from our sponsor.
Just kidding.
Yeah. But seriously, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more interview prep.
All right, welcome back. Now, where were we? Yes, security.
You know it.
One of the most important aspects of any network. So interviewers are going to want to know how you handle it. They'll probably ask something like, can you discuss your experience with network security technologies, such as firewalls and intrusion detection prevention systems?
So basically, firewalls, VPNs, IDS, IPS, the whole 9 yards.
Right. But again, it's not just about knowing what they are. It's about how you've used them in real-world situations.
And probably how you stay on top of all the latest threats, because things change so fast.
Yeah, they'll definitely want to see that you're proactive and aware of emerging security trends, like zero trust security or the latest cyber attacks.
Show them you're passionate about security. Okay, ready for the next one. This one's all about wireless networking. Something like, can you describe your experience with wireless networking technologies?
All right, time to brush up on your Wi-Fi knowledge. 802.11 standards, different generations, security protocols, WPA2, WPA3, all that good stuff.
Plus, don't forget about the newer technologies like 5G and Wi-Fi 6. Got to stay ahead of the game.
Exactly. They'll want to see you're thinking about the future of wireless connectivity.
And speaking of the future, here's a potential follow-up. How would you approach designing a secure wireless network for a large enterprise.
Oh yeah, this is a good one. Think big picture again. Coverage, capacity, authentication, encryption. You got to think about it all.
And how it all fits together with the existing infrastructure, right?
Absolutely.
Moving right along. Question number 6 is all about network virtualization. They might ask something like, can you discuss your experience with network virtualization technologies, such as VMware NSX and Cisco ACI?
Time to show off your software-defined networking skills.
Yeah, this is where things get really interesting because virtualization has totally changed the game.
For sure. More flexibility, scalability, efficiency. If you've worked with NSX or ACI, tell them how you used it to create virtual networks, segment traffic, enhance security.
But even if you haven't worked with those specific technologies, you could still talk about the overall concepts of network virtualization.
Right. Show that you understand the power of virtualization and how it's changing the way we design and manage networks.
And this actually ties back to the career guide, which highlights how important virtualization skills are becoming for ICT network architects, especially with the rise of cloud computing.
Oh, speaking of cloud computing, that leads us perfectly to the next question. They might ask, can you discuss your experience with cloud networking technologies such as AWS VPC and Azure Virtual Network?
So cloud networking, it's another one of those areas that's constantly evolving, so got to stay on top of it.
Definitely. If you've got experience with AWS VPC or Azure Virtual Network, great. Tell them all about it, how you've used these services to design, deploy, and manage cloud networks.
Be specific. Talk about the challenges, the solutions, the lessons learned. They want to see that you can handle real-world scenarios.
And even if you haven't worked with those specific platforms, you can still talk about your understanding of cloud networking concepts like virtual private clouds, subnets, security groups, hybrid connectivity, all that good stuff.
Show them you're eager to learn and adapt. Okay, 2 more questions to go. Question number 8 is all about network traffic analysis and monitoring. You might hear something like, can you describe your experience with network traffic analysis and monitoring tools such as Wireshark and NetFlow?
This is where you get to play detective. Figure out what's going on with your network, identify bottlenecks, security threats, all that.
Tools like Wireshark and NetFlow, they're your best friends in this case.
Exactly. So talk about how you've used them to troubleshoot performance issues, analyze traffic patterns, identify security incidents.
And be prepared for a follow-up. Like, how would you use network traffic analysis to identify a DDoS attack?
Ooh, yeah. They love to throw in those real-world scenarios. You got to think on your feet. What are the telltale signs of a DDoS attack? How would you use those monitoring tools to spot it and stop it?
This is where your security knowledge, your analytical skills really come together.
Big time. All right, we've covered a lot of ground here. 8 tough questions. But you know, a common theme I've noticed is that they really want to see your problem-solving skills.
It's not just about knowing the tech. It's about being able to think critically and apply that knowledge to real-world problems.
Exactly. And that's where RoleCatcher can be so helpful.
Yeah, their AI can analyze your answers, point out areas for improvement, even suggest different approaches to really nail those tough questions.
It's like having a personal coach in your corner. All right, let's shift gears a little bit and look at the career insights from the career guide. This guide basically gives you a roadmap for your journey as an ICT network architect.
Different stages of your career, skills you need, challenges you might face, all that.
And one of the coolest things about this career is that there are so many different specializations. You can focus on security, cloud networking, wireless, even dive into network automation and AI. Lots of possibilities.
And as you progress from junior to senior roles, your responsibilities grow. You might lead teams, mentor others, even shape the technological direction of your organization.
Pretty exciting.
Definitely. But of course, there are challenges too.
Yeah, this field moves fast, so you got to be a lifelong learner, always stay on top of the latest trends, and you got to be comfortable working under pressure, managing complex projects, making those tough decisions.
Which is where the career guide comes in handy. It can help you figure out which skills to develop, which certifications might boost your career, how to stay ahead of the curve.
It's like having a career advisor in your pocket. All right, so we've talked about the interview, we've talked about the career path, but now, what does all this mean for you, our listener?
That's a good question.
It means that being an ICT network architect is both challenging and super rewarding. You get to make a real difference, shape the future of connectivity, be a vital part of how businesses and organizations work.
And you don't have to do it alone. RoleCatcher's AI and their resources are there to help you every step of the way.
From perfecting your CV to rocking those interviews and planning your career, RoleCatcher's got your back. So go for it. Future network masterminds, go build the networks of tomorrow.
We believe in you. And that wraps up our deep dive into the world of ICT Network Architects. We hope you found it helpful and maybe even a little bit fun.
Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and keep learning.
All right, we're back. So we've talked about the interview, all those tough questions, and we've looked at the career paths, the different stages, the skills you need.
But now let's get real. What's it actually like to be an ICT network architect? What are the pros and cons?
Well, the career guide gives us some pretty good insights there. I mean, on the plus side, you've got high earning potential, which is always nice.
Definitely. And you're working with cutting edge technology, constantly learning, always on the forefront of innovation.
You get to build the networks that connect our world. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. But, it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Right. There are definitely some challenges.
It can be demanding, long hours sometimes, and you're dealing with critical infrastructure, so there's definitely pressure when things go wrong.
And you got to keep learning, like constantly. This field moves so fast, you can't just rest on your laurels.
Exactly. So how do you stay ahead of the curve? The career guide has some good tips on that.
Like, make continuous learning a part of your life. Go to conferences, get certifications, join online communities, keep exploring those new technologies.
Yeah, and network with other professionals, share knowledge, learn from each other's experiences. Mentorship can be a huge help too.
And don't be afraid to get hands-on. Set up a home lab, play around in virtual environments, try out open source tools. The more you experiment, the better you'll get.
Absolutely. All right, so we've talked about the good and the bad, but now what does all this mean for you, our listener? What can you take away from all this?
If you're thinking about a career as an ICT network architect, you got to be ready to work hard, keep learning, and embrace the challenges.
But the rewards are huge. You get to make a real impact, shape the future of technology, and be a part of something truly amazing.
And remember, you don't have to go it alone. RoleCatcher's AI and their resources can be a huge help along the way.
From fine-tuning your CV to prepping for interviews and planning your career path, they've got you covered.
So what are you waiting for? Go out there and build those networks of the future.
We're rooting for you. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of ICT network architects.
We hope you learned a thing or two, got inspired, and maybe even had a little fun along the way.
Until next time, keep learning, keep connecting, and keep building those amazing networks.
This is Jan.